All right, welcome back to Market Master, Roland Attenborough. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin and the time cycles. And I wanted to point out something that's important. So Mars right now, the planet of energy, is now conjunct Neptune right here, the planet of illusion, where I spoke about, the market moving up and faking out. And then in a few days after that, it will be contacting and conjunct Saturn, the planet of laws, regulations, and rules. And this is a structured planet, so I expect this top to come in and the next leg to begin. Also note that Mars is conjunct these planets here at 72, which is the second circle, or 720. So if you've looked at Gann's charts where he's shown Jupiter and Mars coming together on his soybean chart at 270 degrees, well, 270 degrees of the circle is 0 degrees Capricorn. You can go back and look at those charts. Let's move forward. We're going to study this campaign down, this campaign up, this campaign down, and this campaign up. Let's take a look at them. I've always stated that in the last 4 cycles, the bottoms come in at 12, 13, and 14 months. All right, that's the first one. Let's do this one now. 12, 13, and 14 months, and it's over. Okay, so 12 and 13 and 14 months from this current top here, well, I've been talking about this. This would run us right into October, November, and possibly stretch into the December period of 2026. All right, so we've worked out this downward bear market campaign. No one likes to hear that something is going down. You've all been taught by your parents to buy low and sell high, but you never sell when it's high because you're greedy. Okay, our first tops come in at around 27. The next ones come in around 34 and 35. Okay, let's go ahead and let's move forward again. Here we are again at our low. First tops come in at around 27. Well, this one turns out to be 26. Our 27th month, it tops and turns down. Our next set of tops, or the last part, will be 34 and 35. And voila, there we are, 35 months, right on time. So both of these campaigns down and up are exactly equal. And if you go back even further, you will see that all these campaigns are following the same time frame. So this is, again, how I'm able to determine and make logical assumptions about what the market's going to do. So from there, we are experiencing a bear market now, because nobody likes to hear we're in a bear market. But unfortunately, 12 months. So 12 months from our top is coming up October. 13 and 14 is November and December. So this is our bottom. So going back in these 2 cycles here, this is what should be repeating here. Let's move forward and find out what the first top and the second or last tops are going to be. I've already occupied them. You can see them more or less here. So around 27 is our first major top, and that should occur somewhere around January 2029. It should make our first initial peak top, similar to this top, similar to this top. Next tops, are the last ones, are 34 and 35. So 34 brings us to August, and 35 would bring us to September. So somewhere in this 1929 period, we're about to experience tops. All right, let's measure the market now and see how low we can go and how high we can go. So this market to the bottom, just going to move so we can see it better. We went down Oh, it says minus 160 here. Sorry. 82%. So, and I'm always stating between 72 and 80 is the market metric. Okay, so that's fine. Let's go take a look at this one here. So we're looking for 72 to 80. So we have our main 72 right here where the market settles, and it makes it all the way down. This one, 77. It didn't quite go down to our 80, which would have been down to the 12 and 13,000. So using that metric, we're stating now from this top area here, a 72% pullback would take us right down to 34,000 Bitcoin. And we would be sitting on these old tops here. 80,000, or sorry, 80% would take us right down to the 27, 26 level. And I think that the market will make a quick spike down to this level, sit down here for maybe 2 months while everybody loses hope, and then we flip into the new cycle. So I thought I'd show you that and make you aware of how that works. And this is what we can expect. So looking now at the lows here, let's go up to our low point there. Let's figure out how high we can actually go. Sorry, I didn't mean to. So typically we can see a 1,600, 1,700% move up. Does that mean it has to do that? Not necessarily. What was this one? This is 700%. So this one was 1,500%, or 16 and 1,700. This is half of it at 700. So looking at that, where could we see this market making top from our low down here at say around 28, 29,000? Well, 700% would bring us to around, I think, 180. No, it's actually higher. I'm gonna squash this chart down again. 700% or something similar would bring us to a 235,000 Bitcoin. Is that what we're gonna do? It's possible and likely. The halfway bar of this lines up perfectly with our bottom and our top here. So that double metric is very possible and likely. Let's just say, let's take half of this 700 and let's go up 350 and find out where our bottom could eventually be there. From about the 27, 28,000. So 350 would bring us to our old top here, right? Halfway. Is that where we're gonna be? Well, it's looking like this trend line here is populating this area, and we would be getting our tops in our 27, 28, and 29, as well as our 34 and 35. So about 176,000 utilizing our trend line and connecting our data points. We're doing as many data points as possible here, crossing this area. So it is likely we could see 180,000 Bitcoin in this next cycle as a conservative measure. And it's possible we could go higher again to the 230, which would be 700%. So that's a very real possibility. What about 1,500%? What would that look like if we had an extreme blow off on this market? Well, let's go ahead and let's measure that, because we can never be sure that this market can't just pop right up into that. So a 1,500% increase or average would bring us up to, well, just under 500,000 at 400 and almost 70,000. That's 460 So this is a point that may happen. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm expecting something similar or around this area here. You know, I'm expecting that. That's where we're looking for our next tops. You know, this 230, 240,000 level is a price that I've predicted for our next move up. Doesn't mean it has to be that level, but I'm certainly sure that 180,000 is our next target. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial using the monthly time frames so that we could better analyze what will happen in the market. Let's go ahead now and look at our indicators. On the monthly chart, the indicators are pointing down and we still don't have a bottom. It looks like a bottom will be coming in around this September, October, and November period where these lines will cross over and make a move up again. Again, our RSI is weak, it's rolled down and looks to be moving down into the later part of this year again, somewhere again around the September and October and November period. Our stochastic, which is our leading and lagging indicator, you can see on these the last campaign that sorry, wrong chart here. On the last campaign, you can see it stretched out after coming down to this area. So we're about here in the move of the market right now. We still have several months left before the culmination of the distribution and accumulation phase starts. So that's looking at our indicators as to what can happen as well. And it's sure looking an awful lot like this market is about to replicate those same dynamics. History is but a repetition of the future, so pay attention to those things. Anyways, brothers, peace and love to you.